Something that's important to me and something that has been important to me for a long time is the idea of sex education from the perspective of a dominant masculine man, right? Brodie's taught. There needs to be some education out here because most of the people who go into the fields of psychology and philosophy and sociology and who go into sexual studies or gender studies, most of the time they are very socially programmed, feminist, hyper-leftist types. And because of that, they will talk about sexuality, but there are certain dynamics that most of them will not be honest about. And because there are dynamics that most of them won't be honest about, or that they'll be very conditional about in ways where there's true desire there, it isn't as conditional. It creates a lot of false narratives or a lot of narratives that are pushed with propaganda in order to keep the social narratives going. And the social narrative going is this. This is what social engineering and social programming is about. Maintaining long-term transactional sex relationships. Right? It's just like, what is the social construct of marriage? It's a man providing financial resources and provision and protection to a woman to have exclusive access to her sexually. We see how that's worked out. That's not saying that two people can't be monogamous, that they can't enjoy each other, love each other, and that no one's ever gotten lucky doing things this way. It's just that there are certain factors in place. And that by this narrative being pushed through society, it makes it more difficult for that actual dynamic to take place. Society wants men to motivate themselves to get women or to get a woman, like a woman. Society wants a man to work to get to a place financially where he can provide for a woman. So everything about sex is about a woman controlling access to that. And in order to maintain this dynamic of a woman pretty much charging men for sex on a long-term basis, men have to be ignorant to the nature of female sexuality. And they have to be ignorant to their own natures. And that's where social programming comes in. It's where you take social constructs and ideas and you place them as a priority over biology. This is why I talk about biology first. Is when you take social constructs and ideas and you place them as a priority over masculine and feminine dynamics. So what I'm going to be talking about a good bit is some basic sexual things. I'm going to talk about them also from a metaphysical, perspective. And I'm also going to talk about them from an anatomical perspective. I'm going to talk about them from a biological perspective, talk about them from a psychological perspective, a philosophical perspective, and touch on several different topics. And by touching on these different topics, hopefully the people who listen will have more fulfilling sex lives. If they're not in a relationship, they understand these things. Then when they meet new people, they'll know where they stand, and they can deal in a more honest way, in a more truthful way, in a more direct and efficient way. And if someone's already in a relationship, then you can learn to identify if you have what it takes to actually make that relationship work on a pure desire basis, right? And if you learn enough game and the woman desires you or respects you enough, then you have the influence there, you have the desire there, that if you tighten up your game and know how to go through the process of sexual integration, then you can raise a woman's interest level and desire level for you through learning this game. But if it's not high enough or it's purely transactional, then what you have to do is either leave the situation or accept the role that you play. And that's really what your choices are. Like if it's purely transactional, then you either accept your role and find a way to finesse that in a way that suits your ego, or that's just not the situation you need to be in. And I think Brodie's scale of sexual attraction is something that really lays this out, really lays a foundation for this understanding, and really lays out a foundation that we can look at a woman's desire to be sexual with a man, or her openness to desiring to do it at all, like to consent, and what she requires in order to do that, and then to judge her openness to you based off of that, and also determine what level is the minimal level of interest you need in order to deal with the woman on the level that you want to deal with her on based off of what you're willing to give and how desirable you see yourself. And then knowing how to protect yourself at each level, because at each level there are issues that could come with it. All right? So if we're talking about Brodie scale of sexual attraction, I started at 5. Somebody asked me the other day, it was my mom, because I was talking to my mom about it. And when I was talking to her about it, she wondered why I didn't put anything below a 5. I said, who wants to deal with somebody below a 5 unless it's a person who is fully acceptable and fully comfortable in being transactional? Or they have very low standards and they're not even somebody you want to really talk to or deal with. So I'm not going to include below a 5. But just understand that a 5 is where a woman is not attracted to you, but she can stomach you if you put money directly into her hand. So it's one of those things to where that's directly transactional. It's tricking. It's just straight up tricking. The pros of this is that guaranteed sex, right? It's guaranteed sex. You can deal with women who wouldn't have the desire to deal with you otherwise. And you can have experiences that you wouldn't typically have with a woman who doesn't have that level of experience or that level of expertise. But the cons of this: directly transactional sex is illegal in most places. If you make a relationship out of it, understand that a woman who is only having sex with you because she's being directly transactional and not because she actually desires you is a woman who will have other men on the side. And if she doesn't, you fooling yourself, right? Unless she's a woman who's damn near just asexual and she just needs a provider, chances are she's not going to commit herself to you on a sexual level. So those are 2 things to understand. 1, she's not only going to fuck with you. And 2, that at that 5 level, if you are directly transactional, then it's something that you're going to deal with is this. All right? What you're going to deal with is this. When you're being directly transactional, if you get gypped, you get duped, there's nothing you can do about it. All right? So if you put money in a woman's hand and then you rape her because she didn't, follow through on what she said, then you're still liable for raping that woman. Right? Now, you can run that woman's name through the mud. You can tell all the tricks but they're probably not going to listen. She's probably going to talk about other ones who she did deal with and then put you down. You probably, if you ever go on the porn side of Twitter, then you hear about instances like this all the time. I keep up with different avenues and different lanes. Even though tricking is not my lane, I still keep up for what it looks like. If you're the woman is a goddess, she can do whatever she wants, you're cool with being a cuckold type of dude, then 5 is something that'll probably work for you, because then you can engage in financial domination. If you got extra money on you, if you say you want to be a woman's husband first, then you could deal with a woman who's asexual, right? Or, different things that you can have in those situations. But even in these situations, you can't put yourself in a situation put yourself in a mindset to where you're expecting this woman to be all over you and all into you sexually. You can't expect that. And at a 5 level, that's also where some rapes happen. Now, on a 6 level, pros and cons is if you have time, you have energy, you know how to finesse, you know how to catch a woman hand in the cookie jar, then you spend enough time, you might get it. If you are comfortable with giving women ultimatums after you spend time and money and resources with them indirectly, and you're not afraid of catching, being said that you're coercing women, you just give an ultimatum, cool, you can do that. If you are the type of dude who looks at interactions with women and you want to spend as much time as possible because you have a Madonna whore complex and you don't want her to give it to you too easy, then a 6 level will work for you. That's a woman who may require a relationship. I forgot, on a 5 level, maybe a woman who requires a marriage first, right? But you gotta be real, you gotta be honest with yourself. But on the 6 level, she just may require a relationship, an extended amount of time that you spent with her, extended multiple dates, and a lot of time, attention, energy, resources, maybe a gift. You get what I'm saying? Maybe some gifts, but it's not directly transactional. You're just doing that, and if she appreciates it enough, which you're probably going to turn her off by how you're doing it, so she's probably not going to appreciate it, but if she appreciates it enough, or you know how to catch her on a day where she's weak, or a day where she's horny, or a day where she just had a breakup, or she going through something, and you've been that friend who was right there for her that whole time, investing in her, then you might get the draws. If you know how to turn on the aggression in the right way at the right time. If you know how to, stroke her ego, then take that away. Right? If you know how to stroke her ego and take it away, catch her hand in the cookie jar, or you get her attached to what you're providing and then threaten to take it away if she's not fucking with you, then you can do that. But the thing to understand about it is this. In this day and age, there's something that's viewed as sexual coercion. If you don't follow through in that relationship the way that woman desires, right? And she may not even want a relationship at a 6 level, but you're going to waste a lot of time, a lot of energy. You got to cast a really wide net, and you're not going to have time for all those women. If you are the type of dude who would, rape a woman, a 6 level is somewhere that would happen at, right? It would happen because if you're invested in this woman a whole lot because you want to have sexual access to her and then she's not really trying to do it, you put yourself into a position and a scenario by which you may get upset at the loss of time and attention and energy and money that you're putting into the woman, and then want to take it or feel entitled to her body because of that. 6 is also the plausible deniability range. Now, 6 is the plausible deniability. It's a little bit different than the plausible deniability at 7. You get what I'm saying? So the plausible deniability at 6 is this. She don't want to do it, but she gives you the impression that she may want to do it somewhere down the line. Right? And it's going to take her either feeling that you earned it over time, getting some Scooby Snack pussy, or her getting attached to what you're providing and feeling that she's not going to keep it unless she has sex with you for her to do it. Let's go to a 7 level. Pros and cons. Pros and cons of a 7 is this. If you're a guy who genuinely enjoys going on dates, you enjoy the chase of seducing a woman, you are uncomfortable being upfront and honest about your sexual intentions with a woman, if you like to make a woman comfortable, you like to maybe have a drink or two and, play all the right music, put the right cologne on and try to set a perfect vibe to make her comfortable. If you're a dude who enjoys eating pussy for the sake of eating pussy, if you're a dude who doesn't require for a woman to reciprocate you sexually in order to enjoy yourself, then the 7 level can work for you. And you can finesse the 7 and end up in a sexual relationship. But something to understand about a 7 level is this. There's a certain level of plausible deniability to where if you misread the cues, a woman may either just not have sex with you at all, right? If you try to seduce her and she's actually a 6 level and you think she is 7, then if you don't adequately get, ascertain getting consent, then that woman may say that you took advantage of her. If you're trying to make her comfortable through making her think that she's going to have access to being in a relationship with you and that doesn't pan out, she's going to feel like you took advantage of her. Because at a 7 level, women may actively desire a relationship if you're making her comfortable enough, right? Most relationships are really in the 6 to 7 range. From what I hear, from what I see, most relationships are in that 6 to 7 range, which is that cat and mouse game, plausible deniability, all that shit, being alone with each other, getting time to know each other. Most guys don't have intrinsic desire to be in a relationship. So they need a woman twisting their arm about the things that he's providing in order for her to want to be in that situation. So a dude just taking a woman on multiple dates on the 6 level, or taking her a 1, 2, 3 dates on the 7 level. You know what I mean? And just knowing how to set that vibe and seduce the woman is something to where a woman feels chased, that strokes her ego, and it's cool. But the thing to understand about a 7 level is this: sex is still not an equivalent exchange. So she's not going to be ready to do it if you approach her on it straight up. She's not going to be receptive to you talking to her sexually unless she's already horny. She's not going to be receptive to your masculinity in its raw, uncut form. She's not going to be receptive to your unrefined masculinity. So that means that she's not going to be willing to have sex with you unless you're eating her pussy first. You eat her pussy first, then you can have sex with her. That is your entry into her body. And every time you eat her pussy, it's not going to be a time she wants to have sex, because she uses that as a substitute. She's not attracted enough or respects you enough from how you presented yourself to feel like sex is an equivalent exchange. So you have to do extra stuff for it. You got to set the mood. And if you're not willing to do that consistently, then you probably shouldn't deal with a woman on the 7 level. Right? So there's pros and cons that come with all this. On an 8 level, you can be direct with a woman. Got your mouthpiece crispy, got your game tight. You approach a woman, and you're just going to have to bypass a shit test, bypass a compliance test. And when you bypass that test, when she presents a little bit of resistance to you, what happens at this place is this: your dick and her pussy is something that's an equivalent exchange to her. Based off of how attractive she is to you and how receptive she is to your approach, this is the point where vaginal orgasms from penetration become more of a thing, but it's not going to be a consistent thing on the 8 level. It's going to be like, time to time, if your sex game is tight, the attraction level, but it's going to take your aggression to do it, right? You're going to have to be rough with her. You're going to have to be aggressive with her, especially if she never had one before. And it's still going to be on a certain level of, she's not going to be available to you all the time. If you hit her up because you want to fuck, then she's going to be like, okay, cool. If she's busy, she's going to wait till she's not busy. And sometimes, if she got other men she's more interested in, then she's not going to be ready to fuck with you. You know what I mean? She's not going to find time to be free. If she is free, she's going to fuck with you. But if she don't have time, then she won't. But at least you don't have to have a relationship or try to sugarcoat her to get the ass. It's just kind of a clear-cut transaction. I think this is one of the best places to start with consent. All right? But at an 8 level, although your aggression is what turns a woman on, by bypassing and trying to bypass her social programming, there are going to be women who feel disrespected by your approach. And if you're on date naps and you approach a woman in that typical way, then you're liable to get kicked off of date naps. Because some women view approaching them on an 8 level, when they don't see you as an 8 level, as disrespect. Because they feel like, why do you have the audacity to approach them on this level? Some women, it's token resistance. Some women, they really just aren't attracted to you on that level. And when you're upfront with a woman, one of the benefits is, when you're upfront with women, one of the benefits is that they will expose what their transaction is, what their cost is. So their cost may be a relationship. Their cost may be a couple of dates, or at least take me out first. That's a 7 level, right? Plausible deniability about her desire to do it. You got to invest a little something. Her transaction may be that, she's just horny and that's the night she's ready to do it. The transaction may be that she has to feel that you're going to be able to actually please her with your dick. So she got to feel like your dick is good. At an 8 level, a woman's going to care about your dick size a lot. You know what I mean? That's where it becomes more important. Now, I do good in that area. So at 8 levels, the area I like to go in at, right? But there are pluses and minuses to it. Yes, it's an equivalent exchange, but an 8 level is like, if a woman gives you head, she wants some head back. How this limits you is it takes away your ability to let the desire build up because she feels entitled to having an immediate reciprocation of the pleasure that she's given you, right? So she's not going to necessarily be open to you getting pleasure and then letting her sit there and marinate, letting the pussy marinate. And because she wants it right then and there, she's not willing for, to just give you pleasure and let it marinate. You won't be able to do this right here. And this is something I've noticed myself. When a woman has an 8 level of sexual attraction for you, you're not going to be able to hit her up and just get some head. She wants to fuck, right? She wants the dick. The dick is enough for her. But if you're a dude who's not like trying to jump into having sex with multiple women, right? If you're a dude who's not into being promiscuous, if you're a guy who's not into having sex with a woman the first time you link up, that approaching a woman on an 8 level is something that'll feel like you're just trying to use her, right? And then she's not gonna fuck with it. Like if you just hit her up, you just want some head, suck some toes, something like that. You just want to do something along those lines to get the sexual ball rolling and to let it build up. She don't want no build up. She just wants some dick, right? She wants you to go ahead and do the damn thing. She may not require head. She may not. But at the very least, she wants some dick. All right, so at a 9 level, that's where she actively desires it. Where she actively desires it, you don't have to be as aggressive to get it. She's going to implement choosing signals. She's going to implement escalating the conversation herself to a sexual level. When you are being indirect about sex, she will try to push it in that direction. She will let it be known that she sees you and that her energy will be receptive to your energy. On a 9 level, a woman sucking your dick is enough for her. Just the fact that you are that attractive to her, that sexually appealing to her, is going to make it so that giving you pleasure is enough for her to feel validated, and giving you pleasure is going to be enough for her to feel as if she got something out of the situation. So on a 9 level, you can hit a woman up, say, okay, cool, we about to link up. This is the first time we going to link up. I ain't going to fuck you yet. You come through, suck some dick. I might give you a little foot rub, and then that's going to be it. And she going to go for it, even if she got to drive a mile to do it. That's what happens at a 9 level. But another thing to understand about a 9 level is there are issues that come with that as well. If you focus on only dealing with women on that level, then you got to have the desirability, the sexual energy, and the physical attractiveness to back it up. Because if you're waiting around for choosing signals, you may manufacture choosing signals. You will start to become passive in how you deal with women, because some women make it so easy for you, right, that you don't actually develop your game to learn how to be masculine and dominant and how you deal with a woman. Now, the 9 level is dope. That's where women start getting close to, orgasms from giving head. And then at a 9 level, that's where women are definitely open to deep throat. At an 8 level, they still want a certain level of comfort, so they may not be open to that. But on the 9 level, that's where they want that dick in them so much that they want it in their throat. They want it in whatever hole you can put it in. They want it there. Whatever you want to do, not anything, but most things you want to do within reason, she's down for. At a 9 level, is where a woman's going to be more open to like degradation. At a 9 level is where you can implement pleasure denial to raise a woman's desire level before you do it. At a 9 level, a lot of things can happen. A 9 level is good. A 9 level is good. But she's still going to have a certain level of faculties. Another thing about a 9 level of sexual attraction is that a woman will find a way to be free. It's not going to be about when she feels in the mood, which is a 7 level, or when she's just available, which is an 8 level. She will make herself available on a 9 level. So on a 9 level, if a woman has kids, she'll drop them off so she can come fuck you. On an 8 level, she'll fuck you. You ain't got to spend nothing, but you're going to have to wait until it's the weekend when she drop her kids off. You see the difference? There's a difference between the two. Now, on a 10 level, you don't even have to approach women. You don't have to approach them. They're going to come to you. They're going to throw it at you. At a 10 level, and you can get money out of a woman at a 9 level, but on a 10 level, a woman will be comfortable being openly transactional with you, directly transactional with you about sex. But she's not going to care as much about your pleasure or not your pleasure, but your interest in her. You know, she's going to be so horny towards you that it's going to cause her energy to become masculine in her sexual desire. And if she's afraid, then a lot of times if a woman has a 10 level of sexual attraction for you, she's not going to want to date you, right? Because especially like at an 8 level, a woman's fear of losing control starts popping up. So if you fuck a woman too good at a 9 level, if you fuck a woman too good at an 8 level, she's going to cut you off. If she expects an 8, but then you give her a different level of dick than she was expecting, she's going to cut you off. But let's say you want a 10 level. If your dick is any good, a woman is either going to cut you off or get sprung immediately. Get dickmatized. And you can dickmatize at a 9. And you can start at an 8 and dickmatize a woman. But at a 10 level, just your voice could probably make a woman come. Right? If you know how to, if you understand vibrations and reverberations, you can use your voice. Just kissing a woman can make her come at a 10 level. At a 10 level, a woman is going to be so attracted and aroused that she's going to be having like cervical orgasms. At the 10 level, spit in a woman's mouth, spit on her face, smack her. It don't matter, right? You put the foot on the back of her neck. At a 10 level, a woman don't mind you peeing on her without her even having that fetish, you know? At a 10 level, a woman will eat your ass, right? At a 10 level, there's a lot of things that a woman will typically be comfortable to do based off of her attraction and desire level for you. And if you're looking for a sugar mama, typically that's going to be a woman who views you as a 10 level of sexual attraction for her, right? So, but there's issues that come with it. A woman may be so dickmatized that she's not actually listening to what you say. She's not receptive to you. And the fact that she was so aggressive about trying to fuck with you, she may have already decided in her mind she don't want it to be anything but sex. So I know guys who go through this right here. So when those type of situations occur, something you just got to understand is that you may just be a good time, not a long time. Also, at a 10 level, women be crazy as hell. Women who are not that crazy will act crazy if you don't move with integrity at a 10 level. She gonna fuck up your shit. Right? So the thing to understand is that pure sexual attraction starts at an 8 level. But after an 8 level, it gets progressively less masculine in your approach. Progressively less masculine. Right? To the point where a woman may have masculine energy towards you because of her sexual desire towards you. So there's issues. And then also with a 10 level, if a woman behaves in a way that she wasn't expecting to behave, and you cross certain boundaries, right? You know, consent looks different across all these different ones. But at a 10 level, a woman may be genuinely embarrassed with herself about how she behaves in your presence. And because of that genuine embarrassment she may feel, she may throw you under the bus and act like you bad. And also, the thing is this, if you're used to dealing with women on a 10 level, it can lower your ability to actually approach a woman, to actually deal with a woman, to actually put your bid in. So when you hit a woman up or you trying to fuck with her, some will be just scared and they'll run away, right? And then there's also going to be some women who don't see you as a 10. And if you're used to a 9 or a 10 all the time, and then you come across a woman you're attracted to who's lower than that, and then you take liberties based off of having experiences with a higher level of sexual attraction, then you're very liable to be Me Too. You know, rock stars, artists, celebrities who are attractive, looks, money, status guys, they often get 10s. And because they often get 10s, something that can happen is when they take liberties as if a woman's a 10 when really she's a attention whore, then they find themselves in situations where women flip the narrative and they try to Me Too them. Right? So this is just the intro into sex education with Coach Brodie.